we do a promotion sort of behind the scenes with the shelters, and we educate shelters on how to do great PR for these same pets in their community. We'll in fact give them media information and press releases that they can fill in the blanks for their organization and send those out. Animal placement organizations, shelters, foster-based groups often don't have a lot of resources. They don't have their own PR people often. And so for these celebrations, we try to use that as a training opportunity so that they can, at their fingertips, have the tools they need to get out to their news and newspaper outlets to really, really promote the pets in their care. Hopefully that helps them on other weeks too. Everybody can do something to help. And you don't have to be able to adopt to help save a life. The simplest things that you can do are retweet our pets and post a special pet on Facebook. You can decide that you're going to spend one lunch hour a week, just one, going to the shelter and walking dogs, socializing dogs. These the things that really will help a shelter pet get adopted are being well trained, well socialized, being intellectually challenged so that they're not totally spazzed out when a new adopter comes. And these are things that you can do one lunch period a week. You can donate to a shelter or an adoption group. The average cost for every organization across the country to take one animal and not euthanize it, but give it a chance to get adopted is around $300. So since most of them are not charging $300 adoption fees, clearly there's a balance that needs to be made up, and that's usually, in almost all cases, private donations. Public funding is a very small part of animal welfare. So lots of things that everyone can do to help. My personal favorite is, those are all favorites. I can't choose between them, but my favorite right now is fostering. I really encourage people to foster, and of course, I know everybody's thinking, I could never foster, I fall in love, and I could never do it. But the truth is that there are a couple of things that happen when you foster that transform you into someone from who could never foster to someone who will always foster. And they are these. If you foster a pet, it becomes very clear very quickly that it is incumbent upon you to always have a spot for a foster pet in your home. And so you don't want to adopt them all, because what you know is that you will cut off the tide of pets you can save if you adopt the next one, because you won't have that spot in your home. And so you keep a spot open. Instead of 3 dogs, if you're a 3-dog house, you have 2 dogs. And that third spot is available for guys who really deserve a second chance. And then the next thing that happens to you that transforms you into someone who will always foster is the fact that you meet a new adoptive family and you realize, this is a better home than I have.
I myself fostered a dog about a year ago who, it turned out she had severe separation anxiety, which you never would have seen in a kennel environment because they're always around the kennel and there's always other dogs around. And we ended up placing her on a farm with wonderful other dogs and a family that was there all the time, and it was the perfect situation for her. But had she not been fostered, she wouldn't have ended in a home that way and may have been returned because of her separation anxiety.
What's the hardest thing for us is when pets are returned. We want people to have the right pet for their home, and we know that when you adopt, it's not always possible to know that this pet is going to fit with my lifestyle. So we ask people, give it a lot of thought, think about what you really live like, and figure out if the pet that you're thinking of adopting is going to fit in that lifestyle. And you may be wrong. It sometimes happens. I, for instance, have a wonderful farm with wonderful chicken friends, and I have adopted a dog who chases them. And he is wholly unsuited for farm life. His name is Jake, and he's lovely. It would be fantastic if Jake were a foster dog, but he is not. He is my dog. and we're in the process of making a peaceable kingdom once again on our farm, which is not at peace right now. And so, because of this chicken chaser. But, thinking about lifestyle, as much as you give it thought, which certainly I've thought about it as much as anyone, there's sometimes a miss. And there's no shame in going back to the organization you adopted from and saying, hey, this is too much for me. This isn't working. Can you help me find a solution? The solution may be a behaviorist to come and meet with you. A solution may be this isn't the right pet for your family. And maybe because there's something about the pet we didn't know, like it was a scaredy dog.
Well, and also one thing about going back to fostering or talking about fostering, one wonderful thing about fostering, if you're not sure what the right kind of pet for you would be, is that you get to take on and kind of try out a number of different pets and have them in your home and see what kind of qualities work for your lifestyle and what kind of qualities don't. You know, if you're living in an apartment and there's a particularly barky dog, then your neighbors may not really appreciate having a barky dog. So it's okay, you're a foster. You're going to be able to place that dog in a home that doesn't mind the barking.